Hello, my name's Mandy Ween. I'm a holistic kinesiologist and integrated therapist of Optimise True Being. I'd like to talk a little bit about deep breathing. So, why would I want to talk about that? I'm sure that you breathe. I hope you breathe. It's a really good human trait to be able to do. So, why do I specifically say about deep breathing? Well, when you imagine your lungs, you imagine they're like two balloons. You've got the air coming in at the top, and then it slowly gets to be the bottom of your lungs, at the bottom of the balloons. So when you're breathing in, what you want to be doing is you want to be aiming your breath down into the bottom of these balloons. So imagine they're like water balloons, and so when the water comes in the top, they come and actually slowly fill out the bottoms. So at the bottom part of your lungs, that's where the oxygen receiving parts are, which is really, really important to be able to get all the oxygen to all the parts of your body. And when you take a nice slow deep breath in, what's actually happening as well is these lungs are sitting on top of your diaphragm underneath here. So when you breathe in, these lungs are filling up. It's also dropping your diaphragm down, the muscle underneath them. So then that's actually then pushing down onto all your organs and underneath. So it's kind of giving all your digestive organs and all those bits and pieces down there a nice little massage as well. So you're kind of getting an all-rounder. You're getting a self-massage, a nice little relaxation in that regard. You're also calming your central nervous system down as well, believe it or not. So there's lots of reasons to do this deep breathing, which is a case of, for a lot of people, is to be retraining. I know I had to end up doing it myself, thinking I was all right doing it, but yeah, it's kind of realizing that where you breathe. So have a sit in the front of the mirror and then have a look at where your shoulders are, where your ribs are, where your chest is when you take a deep breath in. So a lot of people, when they take a deep breath in, kind of go, and then shoulders raise up, and not really a lot is happening on the rib cage, because what you want to be able to do is to use those lower parts of your lungs. So when you're doing this, it's only really getting the top of your lungs and maybe a little bit of your middle of your lungs. You want to be aiming to get the whole area of those lungs moving. So when you move your lower rib cage, it's actually expanding all the muscles of the ribs as well. So it's actually improving the circulation to all the rib cage and that sort of stuff. It's just giving it, again, it's a massage and all using all the intercostal muscles, all the muscles in between the ribs. So it's an overall benefit by using your whole rib cage. So you can do this in a couple of different ways. I've mentioned sit in front of the mirror and see what's happening when you're breathing, because you want to be keeping your shoulders down and aiming to move that rib cage out. So give you a bit of an example is to put your hands on your ribs, on your lower ribs here, and then take a nice slow deep breath in. As you can see, my hands are coming out and then going back in again when you're breathing in. So you can get someone to put their hands on you here and then to just have a check to see whether they can feel anything moving on your ribs, whether there's any flickers, because you generally start with a bit of a flicker, or well, generally start with nothing, because we tend to not really use that part of our lungs. So if you imagine a baby when it sleeps, or look at a baby if there is one present, and when it's lying down, it kind of, its whole rib cage just moves up and down. It's not just the belly, it's the actual whole rib cage. So have a look or Google baby breathing. So that's what we're aiming for, because we kind of, unfortunately, life gets in the way of our being able to stay as ourselves the whole time and be centered, and it kind of changes our breathing. Up here, it's kind of not feeling very comfortable. So by breathing down nice and deep, it calms everything back down again, oxygenates. So yeah, have a look in the mirror, reinforce yourself, and then just imagine that breath coming in. So breathing in through your nose, and just imagine your breath coming in and expanding your lower ribs all the way around your back, because that's aiming to do that. Okay, so, or get somebody to put their hands under your ribs, over the top of your ribs, I should say, and see whether you're able to then just gently move those hands. And don't get the person to squash or squish, just gently placing on as if you're putting your hands on your face, and then get them to give you some feedback as to whether they can feel anything. 9 times out of 10 you might not feel anything at the beginning. The idea of this deep breathing is to practice, like with everything. Practice makes permanent. So where awareness goes, your energy flows into it and allows you to be able to do it, start to be able to do it easier. So the more you practice, so have a go, practice it every single day as much as you can, whenever you're sitting down, when you make a cup of tea, when you're sitting at traffic lights, when you're moving around your house, when you look out the window, whatever you're doing right now, is just keep practicing and imagining that breath coming in and expanding out, because you want to be using all of the 3 jiaos from a traditional Chinese medicine perspective when you're breathing in. So that's the whole more information which we won't go into now. But so the idea is a basic relaxation for the breath to oxygenate your whole body, and just keep practicing and enjoying feeling that rhythm. And please don't get frustrated with yourself when you can't do it straight away. The more you can think about it, the more you're going to energize that area. So the more you actually focus on the area, the more it becomes awake. So it's like, hello, I have some ribs. Right. So enjoy your practice, all the best, and look after yourselves. And yeah, keep up that lovely, low, relaxing, self-centering, deep breathing every day. Right. Take care. Bye.